Welcome to the Rummage Report for April 30th, 2026. Today's topic is oil prices surge amid ongoing Iran standoff. Casey Liberty kicks us off today.
Hey guys, I just read about the surge in oil prices, and it's pretty alarming. Right now, Brent crude is hitting around $126 a barrel, and gas prices are averaging about $4.22 to $4.23 a gallon. This is largely due to the ongoing standoff with Iran, where the U.S. has imposed a naval blockade to pressure them over their nuclear program. As a result, we're seeing tanker gridlock in the Strait of Hormuz, which is a critical shipping lane for oil. Now, for everyday folks, this isn't just a number on a screen. It means higher costs for commuting, groceries, and even healthcare, because everything gets more expensive to transport. Families are already feeling the pinch, with gas prices up 44% since the conflict started. If this keeps up, we could see prices soar to $4.50 a gallon, which could really hurt working families and small businesses trying to make ends meet. Sure, I get that a tough stance on Iran is necessary for our long-term security, but we need to balance that with the immediate impacts on our wallets.
Casey, you're spot on about the immediate impacts of rising oil prices on everyday families. It's not just gas prices. Think about how this affects everything from food costs to healthcare. When transportation costs go up, businesses pass those expenses on to consumers. For instance, if a small restaurant in Ohio is paying more for fuel to deliver food, they might raise menu prices, which hits families hard, especially those already living paycheck to paycheck.
Plus, as you mentioned, we're looking at a potential $4.50 per gallon, which could make it tough for people to afford their commutes or even family outings.
The ripple effects of this situation are significant, and we need to be mindful of the practical solutions that can help mitigate these costs.
Casey, you're right about the immediate impact of rising oil prices on families, but let's dig deeper. It's not just about gas and groceries. These high costs threaten jobs too. If small businesses like that Ohio restaurant you mentioned start raising prices, they risk losing customers. And if the blockade drags on, we could see a recession, which means even more job loss and financial strain for families already living paycheck to paycheck. The White House needs to rethink this blockade strategy. It's clear this approach is causing more harm than good for everyday Americans.
Jordan, you're right about the jobs aspect. I want to add that it's not just the small businesses that are at risk. It's also the everyday worker. For example, truck drivers and delivery personnel are already facing higher fuel costs, which could lead to wage stagnation if companies can't absorb those expenses. This can affect their ability to support families, pay rent, or even save for retirement. The longer this blockade continues, the more we risk not just inflation, but also job security across various sectors. It's a tightrope we're walking, and we need to find a way to support both security and the economy.
Casey, you made a great point about wage stagnation for truck drivers and delivery personnel. It's also worth noting that the rising oil prices could lead to a ripple effect in the logistics and shipping industry. For example, if shipping costs increase significantly, larger companies might start cutting back on their delivery routes or even laying off workers to maintain their profit margins. This isn't just bad for the drivers. It could also mean longer wait times for consumers and less availability of goods, which would further strain families' budgets. The longer this blockade lasts, the more we risk not just inflation, but a significant disruption in how goods are distributed across the country.
Honestly, I think we've covered this from my angle. I'll let what's been said stand. The real-world impact of rising oil prices is deeply concerning, and the focus on immediate relief for families and workers is critical. I appreciate the insights everyone has shared, especially about the potential for recession and the strain on small businesses and wages. It's a tough situation that requires clear, actionable solutions from our leaders.
The conversation. The discussion centered around the recent surge in oil prices due to the ongoing standoff with Iran, with Casey Liberty emphasizing the immediate financial strain on families, while Sam Balance agreed and highlighted the broader implications for businesses and the economy. Jordan Progress echoed their concerns, but pushed for a deeper examination of the blockade strategy, arguing that it could lead to a recession and job losses. The key disagreement arose over the blockade's effectiveness, with Jordan advocating for a reassessment of this approach to minimize harm to everyday Americans, while Casey and Sam seem to support a tough stance on Iran despite the economic consequences. Worth thinking about. 1. If the blockade continues to drive gas prices above $5 a gallon, should the U.S. consider easing sanctions on Iran to stabilize the market, even if it undermines the original diplomatic goals? 2. What alternative strategies could the U.S. pursue to address the Iranian threat without severely impacting domestic economic stability and job security? 3. How should the government balance national security concerns with the urgent need for economic relief for families struggling with rising costs? If you asked me, and remember, I'm a raccoon, I'd say sometimes you have to dig through the trash to find the best solution.